Welcome to another episode of what do we have? Daily Market Mastery. With me, Christian Rauchenwald, on this Thursday afternoon. I hope you all had a great week. As always, before we jump into the markets and my portfolio, let's get the usual disclaimer out of the way. Everything that I share in this live stream / video is my personal opinion and in no way financial or professional advice of any kind. You should always do your own research, consult certified professionals, draw your own conclusions, and make your own decisions. Besides that, all the tools that I'm using, so the broker, the charting software, the strategy I'm following, and so on, are all linked in the video description down below. And the one thing I truly recommend, if you haven't done so, is go and check out the Elliott Wave Principle. You can read this wonderful book for free when you use the link that's in the description down below, or you can use that same link to get yourself a physical copy. With that said, thanks for whoever subscribed. I missed the pop-up, so I couldn't read it fully, but thank you very much. And hi, Cherry, great to have you here. Now, let's jump actually in my portfolio, and then we're also going to try something that I wanted to try. So first of all, we see we have a slightly red start into the day, or like break even actually in comparison to other things. And other than that, our portfolio is unchanged. For those of you that haven't stopped by for a couple of days, we still have our 600 GameStop shares. However, we rolled our March 28 calls that we wrote against those shares to April 17th. And we rolled them down from the $37 strike price to the $35 strike price for around $300 in premium. Now, outside of that, nothing changed. However, one thing I wanted to test, we're going to start a Q&A. Whatever. Like, I'm just going to write, please submit your questions. And let's see what that does. Okay, so that actually now still shows me the currently pinned message. And then have to ask my lovely wife. So how does it look for you on your end?
So if it's my account, then I don't have anything with this if I use my email.
Yeah, but can you submit a question and then check if you can basically pick or submit 2 questions? So not from my account, but so yeah, we're gonna try to figure this out on the side. So how the whole Q&A thing works. And in the meantime, so since the portfolio is unchanged, we can jump into the charts. As mentioned yesterday, not much changed with GameStop. We still will need a couple of days, maybe till the end of the next week, to either have confirmation if our correction finished here, so if our point C should be marked here, or if we will get to see the 78.6 retracement first at $22.73. Either way, once this corrective move is finished, we should see a 5th wave, and with that, a new high. Until then, obviously, I marked where our options expire, so the ones that we wrote. So for the options, it's imperative that the price until here stays below this. If it goes higher, either I get the shares called away at this price, or I'll have to roll them out. And so that's something worth considering or keeping in mind. Now, since GameStop hasn't changed very much, we have, we can move on. We still don't have a chart for Barnes & Noble Education Inc. because I still haven't figured out with the help of Motive Wave support why this is working, but this here is not. As I've shared, right now, we are only worried about staying about 831. If we break that, then we really would need the full chart to reevaluate and either close our position and take a small 60s, maybe $80 loss, or simply update our pattern accordingly and use the time to even increase our exposure. So 1 second. I want to close this chart. I have to check on my laptop. So in the meantime, let's jump already to immersion and see what's going on there. There it looks like we're on our way now to the 61.8 retracement. So here I need what? The popular investor channel. Yeah. So sorry for this unorthodox stream, but I need to figure out how this thing works so that we can use it to the best of our ability. Have to switch accounts. It should actually be if I use that account. So, and if you see the message in the chat that I just wrote, and you can click on it, and does it give you the option to add it to the Q&A or something like that? But with your account, sweetie, like not with my account. It's always, so the point is to see if it works with a moderator account. Oh, but I can only switch here, so that's so annoying. So please submit your questions. And what do I have here? There is no drop down, so I'm gonna close that one for now. So go to channel and Q&A, live chat. Yeah, sorry for this. Okay, can you read the article I sent you and check what it says there? Thank you, so I can move on here. Yeah, so sorry for the slowdown here, but as I said, trying to figure out how the Q&A feature works, because I'll need it in an hour, and by then I would likely understand it. Anyway, so immersion, as expected, correction not finished yet. While it would have been possible that we bounce at the 50% retracement, as I mentioned during yesterday's stream, the 61.8 would fit the bill better and fall nicer into the target area that we have for this potential third wave of the corrective move. So we expect a little bit more downside, and then we'll see if we successfully bounce at 61.8. If we break that level, and especially if we break 622, then we'll have to reconsider a little bit. Potentially the pattern would still be valid, but then we have to consider what else it could be just to be on the safe side. Yeah, here I actually have to switch back to questions, I guess. So. And yeah, so costs unchanged. We're waiting for any kind of, we're on a 3-day chart. We actually will probably need a couple of months before we have any clue what's going on here. Until here, I'm relatively certain with my labeling, but then this entire mess doesn't make sense. So we'll hold our position, and only if we break 380 will we consider cutting our losses, or hopefully until then we get a clearer picture of this mess here and we'll be able to actually just increase our exposure and finally get a pattern that is in our favor. Yeah, not my best entries that I made here and here, to be honest, but can't always be right. So moving on. NEO, yeah, also unchanged. So we're waiting for final confirmation that we actually finished our correction. We already had a couple of false breakouts here, here, partially, and here, of course. So question is, will our pattern turn invalid if we break the 363 at the bottom, or will we finally see the end of this corrective move and our next 5 waves up? And that's that. Bitcoin. Yeah, so as I mentioned, it's possible that we finished a 1, 2, 3, 4 here, and are now going to see wave 5 that has a target of around, or minimum target at around $122,000. It's also possible that this is just in some form 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and only the beginning of the corrective move. For that, we would have to label the bigger picture, which we're not going to do today. And the rest of the crypto stuff, so Algorand, HNT, XYO, storage, please check yesterday's episode. We covered it there. We still don't get a chart for Frontline, I guess. So, and also not with our workaround or more chart window. Yeah, no, doesn't load. Okay. So yeah, close the window. Yeah, and NVIDIA. Yeah. See yesterday's episode for NVIDIA, although there's also not very much information about it, to be honest, because we haven't labeled the bigger picture, because I don't know, 2 months ago or so, I mistakenly deleted all my labelings, all my charts, and so far we haven't found the time, or I haven't found the time to recreate all of them. And yeah, that's why we're stuck with partially labeled and guesstimated charts in many assets. Especially since I don't hold a horse in those races, in quotes, so I don't have any positions in those assets. I'm in no way in a hurry to force myself to label them again right now. But it would be nice to get there in the near future. SMCI would be interesting to see. I said, in my opinion, we should see the stock on the way down to $5, but we also might not get a chart. Yeah, I hope I figure this out in the next couple of weeks, like what the heck's going on here. Why for some of the assets we don't get charts at all? Why for some of them it works in a new chart window? It's really baffling, yeah. In the meantime, markets are obviously already open for 5 minutes. Based on the development of our option premium, I would see, and obviously the red here, I would say that GameStop has declined a little. Yeah, we can see, so minus 42 cents per share. But that still doesn't matter for our long-term forecast. So 1 second, everyone. So you find something or?
Only that it's not working as expected with the moderator permissions.
Yeah, but how should it work?
YouTube says that the manager should be able to manage Q&A. So I should be able to manage.
Yeah, but how does somebody submit a question, sweetie?
Yeah, I mean, that's right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, then we'll try to figure this out as we go. Amazon, also retracing a little bit further. Similar like NVIDIA, we have the problem that my previous labeling is gone, and we have to consider now, I have mixed feelings because in November I pointed out that our minimum target would be 250, which obviously would be a nice target, and we almost reached it, so which is a little bit of a pity that we fell short here by $9 per share. However, considering the move here, it stands to reason that we're now actually retracing at least this entire move, which means we would expect to retrace down to at least $160 per share, which is another 20% drop, potentially further. And there's also the possibility that we're obviously retracing an even bigger move. So considering what's going on in the US right now, I would actually not be surprised if we are not even retracing this, but if in many of the big, partially hugely overvalued companies, we're about to retrace, like much bigger patterns. But it's too soon to fully tell. And yeah, and I don't have the exposable or the disposable, no, not disposable income, but the extra funds in the account, since our positions are tied up in GameStop and there I am bullish still. And I don't see a reason to switch to actually play any of the potential downward momentum. So we'll have to wait and see just how that goes. And Apple, do we get a chart? Do we not get a chart? Looks like we don't. Okay, then we circle back to GameStop. And I also quickly have to check on the site how the Q&A stuff works. Yeah, so bear with me for a minute. So if anyone has an idea how it works, then obviously feel free to share it in the chat, because I don't get any questions to show up.
Yeah. And the tutorial says your viewers will be able to submit questions.
Yeah. How aware I am.
Mm-hmm.
How's that on the mobile app? Although there I'm probably, no, actually I'm logged in with the right account, so that should, let's go there. I'm gonna end the Q&A and start it again and see what that does. So end the Q&A. And just start a new Q&A. There, now in the mobile app it popped up and in the chat as well. So you see ask something, yeah. So, and now if so you have to click on that and then you can ask a question, okay. How does this work? And I can also do that on mobile.
And then it's your question sent.
Yeah, but with your account, the one that has moderating permissions, you should see them. You probably might have to go through the YouTube Studios really instead of being on the main page. Yeah, sorry guys for experimenting during the stream, but as I said, need to figure this out. So if I go here to questions, and then I have Q&A, but I actually see the questions. And then there, okay, and then there in the menu, I have select question. Yeah, so how does this work? Which should replace the pinned message, okay? But which means, can you replace the questions? So.
No, I don't see questions.
In the studio.
In the studio, if you go to my studio, see my channel, I need to switch to your account.
No, you don't need to. We already clarified that before, sweetie. Like that you can use your account where you have moderator permission to access the YouTube studio. Yeah. Obviously now switch to my channel. But still within your account, yeah. So.
My email address.
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, yeah. And now you go to go live. No, in the top, create where you upload a new video. Live, yes. Then you click on the live stream, it's already in front of you. And then on the side up where it says top chat, you change it to Q&A, questions or whatever. And now you see the questions at the bottom. And if you click on one of the questions, can you now say select question? Yeah, then try that. Yeah, okay, so that works, okay. Now, huh? No, I just see the question. I don't see who asked it. So, and 1 second, I'm just checking something else here. So if I then still grab the live chat overlay, just need a new URL for this window, and then go back here and stop the studio mode. So I cannot select the question from here. And if I go to questions, okay, so, but that requires me to find the question in the list. The context menu obviously doesn't work when I have that enabled. So, and if I go to live chat, where it just shows the regular messages, okay. Kind of like an annoying solution from YouTube that you have to pick if you either view the live chat or you view the questions, but you cannot view both at the same time.
Yeah, how do you moderate them? Another screen?
Yeah, I don't know. I have to have the studio open with the chat for the questions to moderate the questions queue and the regular stream open to moderate the chat or so. I mean, from a user perspective, I still think it's much nicer than what we try to come up with submitting the questions and then waiting and whatnot. Yeah. But yeah, so as for this stream, so as for the topic of daily market mastery, and I'm sorry that I'm derailing the stream so much today, but it's really, I really need to figure this out. We covered the essential part. So I said for GameStop, we'll have to wait a week or two to have confirmation if this is our bottom or if we will get to see what I expect, the 78.6 retracement. For some of the other charts. So it's not that much or that important to me how they move, to be honest. In some of them, we might have to make adjustments because we're approaching the areas where the current patterns might become invalid. That's just a part of the game. There is no strategy out there that's always right. And especially with Elliott Wave principle, one has to consider the factor, or actually with every strategy, one has to consider the factor of human error. So in terms of me mislabeling or seeing a pattern that's not there. And yeah, like that's just part of the game. At the end of the day, it's about finding or being either right more often than you're wrong, or if you're not right more often than you're wrong, then make sure that the trades where you're right are actually much bigger winners than the losing trades where you're wrong. Yeah. However, with that, we actually can call it quits, although we might still play around a couple minutes with the Q&A feature.
Yeah, I selected a different question.
Yeah, I saw. Yeah, of course, I see it. Yeah, but if I don't also actively click on it, obviously it doesn't get highlighted like this. Yeah, so the bigger issue is how can one moderator or editor, do both? So moderate the chat and the questions, which I think the only solution is to either constantly switch between both windows, or so like constantly, or in the studio watch the stream and then constantly switch between show the chat, show the questions, or have both of them open. So it's really, yeah, it's like, I don't know why it's so hard for big businesses like Google and so on to deliver or to come up with proper UI UX. Yeah. So it always feels like the bigger the company, the worse the bad. Yeah. English left the room, yeah, but the worse the experience, yeah. But yeah. Anyway, I think we figured this out, so let's call it quits here. Thanks for stopping by. Sorry if this stream was not as informative as others usually are. Tomorrow there is going to be no daily market mastery because I have something else in my schedule, which means we're going to see each other again on Monday for another episode of Daily Market Mastery. I wish you all a pleasant rest of the trading week and then see you all on Monday fresh. Till then, bye-bye.